Hey gamers, welcome to Vlog Matters number 16. So I was waiting a little bit since the last vlog to show off some stuff because the game has been in a broken state lately because of some of the new things we're working on, as you look up here and we'll talk about in a little bit. But I figured the point of having these dev vlogs is to talk about the stuff that's broken during development. Otherwise, what's the point of doing these things during development? We could just show you everything at the end. So let's look at some of the broken stuff right now. So if I run the game, and just pause it real quick while we start. So we've got these big like pink houses. These are just like placeholder thingies. And the point of having the houses is that these houses, house items are bigger than a single tile. So if I come down here, let's see if I can grab one of these tiles. So you can see that's the size of our standard tile. So these are actually 2 by 2 in that sense, so it's a 40 by 40 both ways. And the point is that what we want to do is have these complex shaped and sized tiles. So it's a mixture of a couple different features, one of them being right up here, the extra large debris gen. So in this case, the house is a piece of extra large debris. First I implemented it by generating it on a random tile like we do with everything else, like these bushes and stuff. But the problem with that is it would generate right in the center of the tile, and then it would have a little overhang on every single one of the tiles around the edge. And what would happen is the edge tiles wouldn't be smart enough to see something standing right above them, and it would take another piece of debris and sometimes generate it right on top of it, and you would get a lot of like clipping and overlap. I can't really find any right now because this solution seems to fix most of that, but break a whole bunch of other stuff. So what I did instead was created the house and then brought it into Unity and actually placed the tiles under it. So let me stop this and we can go look at the prefab that I built for that in resources. So it's actually considered not a piece of debris, but it's actually a tile. And you can see it's got the house and then 4 different tiles on the bottom. And rather than having a piece of collision for each one of those tiles, we've got one big piece of collision on the bottom there. You can see that green box going around the edge. So that's for the placement of everything. What we do is let this run through and generate quick. What we do is generate these lines out in front of the player, these red and green things, and anything that's, I think anything that's green is hitting and red is not or something. It's just a debug thing. If it doesn't hit anything, what we do is generate a line, and I kind of talked about this previously. We generate a line straight back on the Z, so going back this way, and if we hit something, we generate at that spot. Otherwise there's a point back here where there's like a wall we generate at that point, which seems to work okay. There's some problems with it because we moved I moved where the generation of that code is, and sometimes you'll get little artifacts of overlapping tiles in random spots. Like right here you can see there's like flickering, there's like a tile on another tile. If I go left and right, you can see there's like this overhang piece by about like that much that overhangs, and that's just because I took the whole algorithm, put it in a different class, and then turned off all of it and then went part by part to get some of these houses in them. The problem that I'm running into right now is you can see almost every one of these house items, especially back here, has this big like splotch of open space where there's just no tiles, and they're actually like almost tile shaped, or they're even with kind of this thing. So the problem is that what it does is generates these red lines out here, right? Way out in front of the player. Shoots another line straight back. Finds either a tile or no tile. And what it does is it generates at that point. If you look at right here, it's going to be kind of hard to see this probably on the recording and everything, but this tile right here kind of gets hit by 3 or 4 of these rays, which means what it does is it's going to shoot back in order and hit nothing, generate, hit that one, generate, hit that one, generate, hit that one, generate. So it's going to generate 4 tiles here before it's even started generating the one next to it, which is a problem, because if any of those tiles end up being a house tile, it'll place okay, but everything behind it won't place, and that's what you kind of see right here. So as soon as this house is placed by whatever tries to generate something against this tile right here, see how it kind of lines up there? It spits a house out and places it right there, and then as soon as it runs in order, let's see if I can frame this up. As it runs to the left here, these rays to the left aren't going to be able to cast through this ground and see that there's no ground in like this chunk, and it's not going to generate anything right there. So that's the problem. 2 of the problems, actually. Like I said, the first problem is that, one, we're generating like 4 tiles at once before we're even generating the second one in the next line, which was okay until we started doing this stuff, and then it starts getting all like really like randomly placed in a bad way. And then the second item is that, yeah, these house items are just blocking everything. So there's got to be a different algorithm for generating tiles like this. There's a couple different ideas I'm kicking around, but a lot of them are going to involve a lot of work. Some of the other ideas I had was spawn like this very back corner tile and then have it look left and right, left, right, and up, and then generate a tile from that point, and then just have those recursively going out. I feel like that might be a little slower. It might not. I'll have to think about it. Because in the cases where you've got these rays not hitting anything, you'll also have tiles that, like, in the center, as soon as they have, 4 tiles. Oops. As soon as this one right here has 4 tiles around it, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's not gonna, we just flip something off, so it wouldn't do all that auto generation or anything. That's one idea. Another idea was to take some of these lines and throw some of them on the side and generate to the side, or do something with this line that shoots back along the Z and ignore this object, which we're calling a complex object because it's a combination of tile and debris. Ignore the complex object and still generate. The issue you're going to run into there is if you just keep generating and ignore the complex, you're going to have ground tiles fill up this space, but you're going to also have ground tiles fill up the space underneath the complex, and you're going to get some of that that flickering that we saw before, if I can find that again. Some of like this like artifacting kind of weirdness, which is almost not visible as you're running through it, but it's just kind of messy, and I don't want that to happen. So yeah, that is everything that's been worked on. I don't know if I talked about this in the last one. I think I did. But I also got the tile debris random weight going. So that uses a random... I'll show this again if I didn't show it last time. I think I showed it last time. It uses just some number that we give it. You can see over here, rand percent 305. And then we take the sum of those, and then of that sum, so let's say 305. Let's look at one of these. 300 rand percent and then 5 rand percent. The total is 305. 1 through 5 is like the randomization range for extra large house, and then 6 through 300 is the percentage area for the other grass ground pieces. So you can increase that and lower this and stuff to, adjust your percentages both ways. And that's implemented with just simple variables and a binary search through a list of objects that we create, and the object, like I said, has the min and then the max of that range, and then you just compare those as you're going through your binary search. So that was pretty easy because I had thought about the design beforehand. And so JSON updates is also marked as yellow because that's just ever evolving. Like I said, I added those random weighting things and then some other just basic variable things. So that is everything that is in this update. Hopefully the next update or the one after, I will have all of this auto generation, ground generation working, because there's some other items that we'd like to throw in here and get working with that. One of them would be, let's see if I have it in here. Tiles, maybe? Like water tiles would be cool to do. Just anything that's not a normal, like 20 by 20. But this has a big problem with it too, in that when it generates, it just overlaps like crazy. It's all that overlapping that I have to fix. So cool. Well, that is this update. Gonna work on that. That's probably gonna be the main thing worked on, and then I'll make another update in a couple days. Okay, cool. See you later.